My favorite part about the Celtic Junction is coming to see all my friends and learning new dances.
The reason my family loves the Celtic Junction primarily is because my daughter comes here to dance many hours a week, but we found a community here which is separate from the school community where my daughter goes, or our church community, or the friends that we had before. And we've built a community with folks that are coming here for various reasons. We find lots to do, and they're great people. Keeps us coming back.
The Celtic Junction for us it's been a wonderful experience now for going on 7 years for our children. It's been an intergenerational activity for my mother-in-law, Maria's mom. We've been able to enjoy wonderful music. We've made so many great friends here. Our daughters have just had wonderful instruction, and they've made great friends that will be lifelong friends for them. And we couldn't have asked for a better experience.
The Celtic Junction is very important to me. I got started in this by hearing about it from a friend, and Cormac and Natalie and their whole group have been tremendous. It has helped me when I have needed something to do and exposed me to a whole lot of Irish traditions I never knew. I'm Irish, and I've enjoyed tremendously learning about my Irish heritage through the Celtic Junction, and dance means a lot to me.
The Celtic Junction is special to me because when I come to the Celtic Junction, all my friends are with me and I get to learn new steps.
The Celtic Junction is a unique opportunity in the form of a place where people can come together and appreciate all forms of Irish music. Everything from the dance scene to the strictly traditional scene to the insane Celtic rock scene. Yes, we have such a thing. Everybody comes together here and feeds off each other's energy and everybody's enthusiasm. It's unique in that regard, all Irish all the time.
It's such a crossroads for so many Irish organizations. The Irish Fair, Center for Irish Music, of course, has it. Irish Music and Dance Association does a number of events here. The Friends of St. Patrick. Even people don't do their events here. The hurling team, other teams are present. And what's really marvelous between the dance school and the CIM is you get these young people who might come to play a flute or learn dancing, and yet they hear somebody sing or they hear somebody else play a fiddle, and then they get interested in doing these other things too. I don't think that could really happen if it wasn't all happening here at the Celtic Junction.
Hi, I'm Christo Sween. I'm an Irish dance parent and a longtime volunteer, and have other roles that I do here at the Celtic Junction. And I'm here today with Natalie Nugent O'Shea. She's the Executive Director of the Celtic Junction Arts Center. But Natalie, you wear lots of hats around here, and one of them is as the head of the outreach pillar of the Celtic Junction Arts Center. Can you tell us more about what that is?
What I'd love for you to do is go on a little journey with me, and the idea that outreach, being everything that the other programs are not, really encompasses or wraps up the community and a lot of the things that are happening. And by that, picture a stone dropping into a pond. Right there, right at the core, at the heart, we are a house. We're a home for these programs. We're a home for our resident companies and for all the people who come into this area. So if you look at outreach and the pebble in the water and the way that everything reflects out. The first people to kind of come and join us under the roof were the Center for Irish Music and O'Shea Irish Dance. And to this day, they really stand as the most core parts of what happens in this building. You know, we have probably, on a normal day, outside of the pandemic, 500 different people through here to do and practice and experience that Irish culture, particularly because of those two companies. Part of what we do then is support them. We've been able, with the outreach program, to collaborate with them, to take our programming with them to schools. One of the greatest things we did was a school outreach program. And we've connected with different elementary schools around the area to bring in a cultural experience to all these children together, including the library. So we brought in dance, we brought in music, we brought in language, we brought in the idea of folk tales and stories, of course, with our singing librarian, Brian Miller. And it was incredible to have these kids ask about the Irish language and see the steps. And we were able to start a dialogue with them, because a lot of these children are actually from immigrant communities as well, to say, what is your language? What is your background? What do you know about this beautiful culture? And then tell us a little bit about yours. So first, it's been a dialogue right here in our neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Tom Whalen with Irish Fair. Our mission is to promote and cultivate Irish culture here in the area. We've got great partners in Celtic Junction Arts Center. Natalie and Cormac are living that mission just as we do. When you go to Celtic Junction Arts Center, you can see dance, you can listen to music, you can pore over the volumes of historic Irish literature in the library, and you can visit the Irish Fair office. We're thrilled to be part of Celtic Junction Arts Center, and we hope that you'll offer your support to them too. Thanks.
For the past couple of years now, the Center for Irish Music, a traditional Irish music school that I run, and the Celtic Junction Arts Center have been collaborating on some outreach performances out into the schools. And so we perform for children and sometimes for middle schoolers, and we introduce them to the concept of Irish arts and how the language, the dance, the music, and history go together to make this beautiful picture of Irish culture. And it's an interactive performance. Cormac teaches a dance, I teach a song, Brian teaches actually a historical song that was sung in the lumber camps in Minnesota by Irish people, and then Natalie teaches some words in Irish to the classrooms. And so the teachers are learning a lot, the students are learning a lot, and it's really having a great impact, helping people to understand what Irish culture is really all about. A lot of people associate Irish culture with drinking, with partying, with shamrogery, as Owen Kiernan used to call it, and it really energizes me to get out there and to show people how much there is to be proud of with Irish culture. And then it brings more people into the building, it brings more people to the schools based here. I think it brings people to the schools and the concert series and things that are happening all over the Twin Cities. So I would really encourage you to support the Celtic Junction Arts Center and let them know that you think that these kinds of outreach performances and educational performances are important to you.
Hi, my name is Erin Hulse, and I'm the IDPA Board President for O'Shea Irish Dance, the parent association.
I'm Henry. I've been dancing at O'Shea at the Celtic Junction for 10 years.
My name is Jordan, and I'm a student of the Celtic Junction Arts Center.
Hi, my name is Donna Dingle, and I am the administrator for O'Shea Irish Dance.
O'Shea Irish Dance resides in the Celtic Junction, and our family has been a part of O'Shea this is our 6th year already.
What the Celtic Junction means to me is culture, consistency, and community. I have learned so much about my heritage through the study of Irish dance and Irish music.
My daughter, Hannah, started dancing when she was 7 years old.
And we heard about O'Shea and all things Junction probably about 7 or 8 years ago at Irish Fair. and it changed our lives.
Really more than a community, it's a family.
Anytime I go there, I always feel safe and respected, and I always feel that I'm welcome with all the people that go there too.
The people I've met at the Celtic Junction are some of my closest friends, mentors, and teachers.
It's just hard to imagine our life without the people of the Celtic Junction.
The Celtic Junction is really like a second home for our family. We have twin boys, and they started dancing when they were 3.
The Celtic Junction to me is just a really safe place I can go and definitely be myself and express myself.
They participated in professional dance performances, professional theater performances.
And those are some of my favorite times I get to spend with the people that go there and the dancers that I dance with.
It's been an amazing opportunity for them to get that experience where they wouldn't be able to get it anywhere else.
Through uncertain times, my love for Irish arts has only grown as my teachers at O'Shea Irish Dance and the Centre for Irish Music worked hard to remain consistent in my life.
Please join me if you can in providing financial support to the Celtic Junction Arts Centre.
No amount is too small to join me in doing that.
Your financial support allows me to continue following my dreams, spreading my love for Irish dance and Irish music wherever I go.
We really are recognized as Minnesota's Irish Cultural Center. And that's not something we set out to be. We have responded to the Consul General, really, by calling out to us to say, tell us what's going on in your area. How can we support you in the things that are going on? Will you come and be involved with us? To the point that the last 4 years now, we've actually been part of the Midwest Association of Irish Cultural Centers. We go down to Chicago and meet with the other centers and actually have a dialogue with people in academics, with other cultural centers, with people in language groups, with other places that put on festivals, concerts, and actually discuss best practice. We can discuss what's working for them and what's happening in the world. We can talk about things that are coming through. So there's this greater dialogue that's taken place. A step further, we ripple out further with that stone, and we're actually part of a national conversation. Cormac and I have taken part of the National Association of Irish Cultural Centers and sat down with the Consul General of New York. We have met ministers for culture, ministers for Irish and the Gaeltacht, ministers for the diaspora, and actually been able to sit in a room with just a dozen people and discuss what's going on in the country with these people who make policy decisions in Ireland about what happens in America and about how they fund what's going on over here, about how we are recognized as kind of their ground troops, keeping people connected to their culture, keeping people having an access right back to Ireland. And they're looking at us saying, what are the problems that you're seeing? What can we do to help? And to have that voice, Minnesota, we have that voice because we've built this relationship with them. We've built this really incredible collaborative communication all across the country and even into the next step, which is internationally. One of the most exciting developments that we have is that we now have a sister cultural center in Ireland. That sister cultural center is Éanna in Armagh in Ireland. The executive director there, Raymond O'Kieran, has been so encouraging and so surprised and astounded really by what we've been able to establish here, how we focused on the language, how we have really genuinely help to culture and manifest more music. How obviously the dancing has really been a strong part, and how we've brought that all over the world and given opportunity to Minnesota students that they may never have had. And he has been quite involved. He's actually been here to visit us, and he's been a part of our events. And just as things were getting hot with the pandemic, we were actually due to go and have a Sister Cultural Center tour. And so what the Irish government has challenged us on, and actually turned to us as leaders, is how are we making these connections with the next generations? How are we making the connections with even what they come up with is a term called the affinity diaspora. What about people who just think this is really amazing and they haven't got a drop of Irish blood? Because they're really important here too. And that's actually part of what we've done. You know, while we are challenged to continue to connect with the diaspora, to serve the Irish community, one of the things that I think we will do in the 3 to 5 years is to expand people who understand Irish music, dance, language, culture, literature, history, and art. And that is a tall order. That's the order we've been given basically by the government. They want to, it was Leo Varadkar actually decreed that they will double the footprint of Ireland's cultural impact by 2025. And that we are part of doing that. And that's the dialogue that we're in. And that's what we're involved in. And it's, again, it's astounding to find the place that we're in at this time and the reach that we're hoped to have and to be filling those high expectations.
Jeev O Chahar Ardwaha. You're all very welcome to Éanachwaha, an Irish language and arts centre in Armagh City, which is indeed twinned with Celtic Junction Arts Centre in St. Paul, Minnesota. Over my right shoulder, you can see the twin spires of Armagh Cathedral, and this is a short message just to say that Éanachwaha has certainly felt the transatlantic goodwill all the way from the Celtic Junction Arts Centre in Minnesota, and to wish you all the very, very best with all your endeavours promoting Irish language, Irish music, Irish dance, and in general, Irish culture. In the background, you can hear our very good friends, Armagh Rhymers. So, we wish you all the best for your fundraising event on the 24th of October. From me, Raymond O'Kearine, and the Armagh Rhymers in Éanachwaha, Ganeri Gagal live on your fundraising event on the 24th of October. And now for some Armagh Rhymers.
My name is Martin O'Mallure. I'm the publisher of the Irish Echo in New York. I was a great admirer of Owen McKiernan, and I really believe that his legacy is being carried forward admirably by the Celtic Junction Arts Centre and by Natalie O'Shea. I wish you well in the time ahead, and I hope you really knock it out of the park at your fundraiser. Good luck. Slán go fóill.
One of the great pleasures of my 3 years as Ambassador of Ireland to the United States has been to travel around this wonderful country and to come across everywhere I've been wonderful Irish communities and wonderful Irish arts groups that are preserving and treasuring our Irish culture all over this country. And one very good example of that is, of course, Celtic Junction. Now, I had intended to visit Celtic Junction this year because I had been invited to present the O'Shaughnessy Award, the Poetry Award at the University of St. Thomas, and I was looking forward to visiting the great state of Minnesota and to calling on to see Cormac and Natalie and to see what they're doing there for myself. I know it by repute, of course, and I greatly value the work they do throughout the Midwest in promoting our national culture of music, song, dance, and literature. It's particularly appropriate, it seems to me, that Irish culture in the region of so many lakes is being promoted by a river dancer. Now, I know that all arts groups around the world have suffered very badly during this pandemic, and our Irish groups in the United States are no exception to that. We've tried through the Immigrant Support Program to provide some vital support for Irish cultural groups all over the United States, including, of course, Celtic Junction. But I do encourage those in the Minnesota area and St. Paul to provide whatever support they may be able to provide to Celtic Junction in order to enable them to continue the great work they're doing in promoting Irish culture throughout the Midwest. The efforts of Celtic Junction, of Cormac and Natalie and their team, is deeply appreciated by me, by my colleagues at the Embassy, and by all people who value the promotion of Irish culture throughout the United States. I wish Cormac and Natalie and Celtic Junction all the very best for the future. I look forward greatly, I yearn for the day when I can visit Minnesota, Minneapolis and St. Paul and meet with the team at Celtic Junction led by Cormac and Natalie.
And it couldn't be a for-profit endeavor, probably, and succeed. It has to be of and by and for the community.
To run these programs, to do the building improvement, to do the management, to set up the concerts, to do, it's all been volunteer work. At this point, it's actually showing that that's not completely sustainable. By the core, small core of people that we have. We need other people to step in, and we need dollars to help support it. So it doesn't make money, no. That's, an understatement. If there's anything that says it's vocational. And yes, it is enriching because our hearts swell and burst regularly with the gorgeous things that are happening in this facility. Sometimes it's actually overwhelming and beautiful and touching and moving and everything that the arts should be. But it doesn't help us operate. It doesn't help us run programs. It doesn't help us develop anything. And it certainly doesn't give us any lasting or staying power for the future.
I think that if past is any indication of future success, I think that we've got this core group of people who believe and who will be inspired to help out and jump in and contribute in many, many ways. Because that's what has built this from the very beginning. It's just people with passion and good ideas and belief and trust that there's a place for these beliefs and passions. There's a place for their children to learn old traditions and new takes on old traditions. I think about my kids learning Irish dance and playing the whistle and learning songs and being involved in shows that mix the old and the new, with heavy bassy beats and cool choreography and funky lighting and great costumes. There are astonishing things that are happening here. And they are happening because of just this leap of faith that parents of students take, that students at the Irish College take. Irish College is a long tradition. And we've got this here now. This is an astonishing thing. And I think that people, I don't know if they realize that this just doesn't happen everywhere. This is a fairly remarkable thing that's going on here. And there is the spell maybe is part of it. There's just this spirit that's there. There is a somewhat rebellious nature that's kind of baked into what's going on here. That we've got to just, yeah, right. Hey, there's people that are doing this cool thing over there. Let's go be a part of it.
What I believe beyond anything is that the arts are here to reflect us. They're here to show us at the best of our humanity and sometimes reveal the worst. That they are here to give voice and give movement and give a worldly presence to the spirit and the soul that is within us. And then one of the beautiful things that the Irish culture has is it's almost like it's got a direct line to that most primal spirit within us. And you don't have to be Irish to feel it. When you hear the rhythm, you know, when you hear the story, when all of a sudden that voice comes down, you know, out of the ether, you know, and across those fields, and it makes your pulse quicken and it makes your heart change, and you actually do feel different. Your body responds, you know, with every cell. And when art is at its best, we transform. What do you see in parallel in the role that Celtic Junction is stepping into now? What are the parallels in the strengths, in the formation, and in possibly our future? Will you speak a little bit to the Celtic Junction?
Absolutely. First, the leadership. There's a couple there, I believe their names are Natalie and Cormac. And their leadership is so integral and so vital and so warm and welcoming, which is a very important Irish trait. They've been doing this, and they have built a vision which they have created and keep recreating over the years of the emphasis on dance, now language, culture, talks, people, bringing in people in these areas and making presentations, not just at the Irish Fair weekend, but all year round. And as you have been doing with bringing in the talent, Ireland's local talent, performing in St. Paul, Minnesota, and the surrounding areas. That is so vital, so important. You guys have done a fabulous job in that, and you are the own McKiernans of today in relation to anything decent, cultural, and Irish in St. Paul, Minnesota, or in Minnesota for that matter. You've reached beyond. So you have established a name and a reputation, and you bring in great talent. But more importantly than that, you are bringing together and offering Irish culture through language, through dance, through literature, and the McKiernan Library, and all the assets that go with that. So the emphasis is not on alcohol, Jameson or otherwise. The emphasis is on all that is Irish, all that is Gaelic, as they say in America. And I think that people realize that, and they're looking at the gap that they have, and that yearning that many people have because they've been away from their country for so long, or they're first generation Irish, and they want that connection. You guys are providing that, and you've done it very, very marvelously.
I'm done. I'm a commercial and art photographer here in the Twin Cities. I've got a studio in the historic Lowertown Arts District in downtown St. Paul, and I've had the pleasure and honor to work with the Celtic Junction over the past 5 years in a variety of different ways. First and foremost, I've had the opportunity to come to some incredible cultural events that they put on here. That's one of my favorite things about the culture, about the center, is that they have such diverse and unique programming, and it's all in the spirit of art and culture, and all in the Celtic, in the vein of Celtic culture and Irish culture. From dancing to singing to putting on outdoor festivals, which we've recently seen, and also being a hub for the Celtic arts and Celtic organizations in the Twin Cities. I had an opportunity to work with the Celtic Junction a few years ago on, I've got a current project called the Irish of Minnesota, and it's a photo exhibit. It's an ever-expanding photo exhibit that's in collaboration with the Irish Fair of Minnesota. And I've got about 100 portraits, and so I actually had the opportunity to show them, display them at an exhibit here at the Celtic Junction a few years ago. And it's just a fabulous place to show your artwork. And when you come and see this facility, you can just feel the spirit of what it's all about, and feel the Celtic spirit here. And I felt that when I had my exhibit, they did an incredible job of helping to not only exhibit the images and give me incredible space, but also to promote it to their friends on Facebook, or their also to the members of the Arts Center. And so it was really nice turnout when I had the exhibit and had the opening festivities.
Well, that's terrific, Tom. Thanks for joining us today. Again, I'm Jim Tarbox with Celtic Junction. I'd like to thank you for your past support and generosity. We hope you can find it to continue to support the programs here, including such projects as Tom's Irish of Minnesota exhibits that, once again, we can put on here at the Celtic Junction. When things open up again, you're welcome to come and visit us. See his work, keep an eye out for that. Visit his site on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.
We finished the mural, that you see here. So myself and Marty Oakes were the artists on that. And that was another fantastic experience with the community. So we were first posed the question of, how do you represent all that is the Celtic Junction Arts Center? And it was broken down pretty simply into 4 pillars. So the first pillar being music, we're probably the most familiar with that. The second pillar being dance, also highly identifiable. The third pillar is education. How do we further the knowledge, the understanding, the connection? And it all culminates in the fourth pillar, which is community. Because none of this happens without community. And the music, the dance, the art, the education, the literature, all of it pulls back to enriching each other and being better together. And that's something that Celtic Junction really embodies. So we worked actually from February until end of June, just on the design and getting everything ready to project and paint. And we put our final signatures on the actual mural in October, early October, 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years since this actually occurred within the Celtic Junction, and turned into a piece of art that people now really associate with the meaning of everything this establishment offers. So that's where it came from. I think just from the mere fact of painting the mural over the summer months, I must have had easily 100 conversations with people that had no idea what it was all about, and were really excited to hear a story and how it truly contributes to the neighborhood and the community. How many people that aren't Irish or of some type of Celtic descent, or sucked in by a friend of theirs who is, really understand what the Celtic Junction is all about. What is an art center all about? It's not just the very particular, this is how you hold your feet when you dance, this is how you play music. I mean, seeing the little toddlers come in for their first ever dance lessons is hilarious. They are so excited. It is so much fun. It has more to do with jumping up and down than anything else, but why not? What a great way to involve, the kids and start building additionally that community.
I'm Rita Davern, and I'm here in front of the Celtic Junction Arts Center, which is one of my favorite spots in the city. I come here for concerts, for music lessons. I'm in Lavinia's Irish language class right now. It's been a wonderful place for me to come and reclaim my cultural heritage that I kind of lost along the way. So it's a home for me in a very special way. But what I didn't know until about a year ago is how much this place and these people, Cormac and Natalie and the rest of the bunch, how much they are community builders, and they are really well connected with other music organizations and cultural organizations, and they really play an important part in a vibrant cultural heritage center here that's goes far beyond their own walls. And the way I found that out is that my friend Pete McCauley, about a year ago, when I was getting ready to launch a crowdfunder for a film project I was working on, he said to me, well, have you thought about doing a party, a kickoff event for your crowdfunder. And I said, no, I hadn't thought about it. What a good idea. And he said, I bet Celtic Junction would be interested. And so with the help of the whole crew there, we got an event planned. We had 60 people. We had food and music, and they rolled out the carpet for me and this film project, which is an Irish-related film. And we had a phenomenal event, and because of that event, I was able to finish both films. It ended up being 2 films, and they're both done, and they've been well received, and it's in no small part to the welcome that I received here and the assistance I received in my art project. So the film is called Burren Girl. It's being released this month. It will premiere at the Twin Cities Film Festival here, and it's a good family history mystery from a part of Ireland that my people are from. Please put the Celtic Junction Arts Center on your list this fall of people and places to support that make a big difference in our community.
Well, Rita, as you know, we're here in Galway today. We're on a very special mission because if you just look over the way across the river there, we're headed to the Galway City Museum. And in there, they've got a very special, the newest exhibition called Keepers of the Gale. And that has a lot to do with us and our ancestry.
Who are my people? Where is my homeland? I began a search for the place and people my grandma left behind. I hoped that by learning about her life, I could understand something important about mine. My search landed me in the Burren, a wild, beautiful, windswept place where my clan, the O'Daverns, lived and farmed for over 1,200 years.
400 years old, I believe. Your great-grandfather was born here.
I've had this bug, I think, that came from growing up and knowing nothing about Ireland or the Burren or my family. None of it got passed down. 19 years of education and not one day of Irish history.
There is such a wealth of archaeology going back 5,000 years.
When Cromwell came, the 17th century, he destroyed every single thing he came upon. And all the Daverns were scattered all over the place.
It's vitally important that you always know where you've come from. And it doesn't matter what your history has been, whether it's shadowy or bright and sparkling, you should always know where you've come from.
The O'Daverns were but one small clan on the west coast of an island halfway across the world from where I was born. But by reclaiming this family story and sharing it with upcoming generations, we are preserving a heritage that could easily have been lost forever.
It's not going to take another person with $100,000 to make this happen.
No.
It's going to take a lot of people with whatever fits their budget to join in this cause, this process, this fundraising effort, right?
Well, again, it's very humbling. You know, the faith that people have in what we've done here has been amazing. What we've been able to do, you know, you see and you feel this beautiful library. You see and you look at, you know, we've got the signage downstairs. We've got that beautiful mural out in the front. We've changed the lobby and we've got cozy fireplace and everything's, you know, and on a shoestring of a budget, because most of the work is Cormac, you know, to be honest. I'm not much heavy lifting these days. I'm more painting. But we'll do everything and we'll do anything to earn those dollars, but having earned the trust is one of the things that I'm proudest of, and one of the things that we'll work the hardest for. We believe in what the Junction has become. We believe in the community that it is. We miss them. This is hard. It's so hard, you know. Seeing the building dark, it's hard. So when we turn on these lights we want to make it shine, you know, and we want to make it shine for the future.
It takes money. It takes people. That's why we're here. That's why we're having this conversation. That's why we're having this event today. We hope that these words and these stories and this place and the potential for the future has been something that inspires you to find it in your heart to make a contribution. And this fundraising challenge that we have is not something that has to be met today. It's something that...
It would be nice.
It'd be great if it got... That's what I always say. Yeah, I know. It would be really, if someone else wants to do that, let's just take care of it all in one fell swoop. But what really we're talking about is making a sustained commitment to support this place. And at whatever amount is comfortable for you, we look forward to having your help in that regard to keep this going forward and keep the vision. Let's make that spell be something that carries us all forward.
Hi, this is Maeve O'Mara and
Liam O'Neill
from Irish on Grand, a retail store here in St. Paul. Been around for 30 years now. And first time I came across the Celtic Junction, Natalie Cormac said, "Do you want to see the spot we're thinking of getting?" And it was like a shell, and I thought they were mad. And to see how it has become now, it's just absolutely amazing. And we should be very thankful that we have them and that we have the Celtic Junction here in the Twin Cities. Before that, you know, things were a bit scattered. Now, you know, where there's going to be a concert, you know where it is. The Centre for Irish Music being housed there is an integral part of the centre. The old McKiernan Library is amazing, great place to do a class, really tastefully done. Brian Miller does an amazing job up there. And just all the various organisations, it's great to have a kind of a central Irish place to go to, such as the Irish Fairs offices there, etc.
Following on what Maeve said, she said everything I was going to say, but I will say do not forget to donate to this fantastic organisation. They've been around now 11 years. They've proved that they can follow through on everything they said they're going to do. So do not forget them. And by the way, it's one more thing to add to what Maeve said. They're still mad.
Hi, I'm Catherine Reed-Day, and I'm the founder and chair of the Creative Enterprise Zone, and really excited to be supporting Celtic Junction in this special time. You know, when we set the boundaries for the Creative Enterprise Zone, we included Celtic Junction. We drew that boundary over on Prior because we wanted to keep that creative force in the neighborhood. We wanted it to be a symbolic anchor point for the work we're doing. And so it's great to be this many years later and have Celtic Junction thriving and such an important part, making such an important contribution to the neighborhood. You know, the spirit of Celtic Junction includes generosity. So I hope that you will really consider being extremely generous with your support for the Celtic Junction in this time.
Well, my name is Kate Mudge, and I'm the Executive Director of Hamlin Midway Coalition, District Council here representing Hamlin Midway neighborhood. I also live just around the corner from the Celtic Junction. One funny story, or one heartening story, is just last weekend there was a festival going on down there, and I was in my kitchen, and I was baking some bread, the windows were open, and I hear these bagpipes. And I grab the dogs and walk down there and see the bagpipists practicing right before they were going to go on for the festival. And it was right across the street from where Creative Enterprise Zone was creating the new mural on the side of the factory. Yeah, it just made me so proud and happy, and to be able to hear the music floating through the neighborhood. And I'm Scottish, so the bagpipes they touched me. So I watched Celtic Junction being built at as an organization, we used to host our meetings out of the library there in Celtic Junction. I've seen Celtic Junction help support the neighborhood, doing things like the pop-up at Christmas. I've seen more and more people coming to Midway because they are taking a class or visiting the library or going to a festival at the Junction. They took a building that quite honestly, needed some help and created this beautiful space for people to come. And as a resident and somebody who helps this neighborhood grow and flourish, especially with the arts, they are a fantastic neighbor to have. So I know in these times, a lot of people are asking for money and support to keep their organizations afloat and their projects going. I would encourage anybody who can to support Celtic Junction, especially with a match where you can double your dollars. Now more than ever, we need art and we need music in our lives. It's a testament to being able to walk down the street and actually still, hear live music being played. For anybody that has a little bit of extra to spare, Celtic Junction is one of the best organizations here in Midway to support. I encourage you to do so.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mitra Jalali. I'm so proud to represent the Celtic Junction and the whole Midway neighborhood here on the St. Paul City Council, where I serve our community as the councilwoman for Ward 4. I just want to say thank you for your investment and support of the Celtic Junction in this incredible year that is full of turning points, I think, that call us to think about who we want our society to be. And I can say for years and years, Celtic Junction has been a part of creating the relationships and the community and the arts and creativity and leadership that we need to help move our city forward. I'm so proud that we have a great arts and dance and culture organization like Celtic Junction here in our community, an award-winning, regionally recognized organization that takes the love and the fire and the passion of Irish dance and Celtic culture and brings it out to our broader community. Through my time as a councilwoman, I've seen the young dancers and old dancers alike of this beautiful organization at community festivals, at different neighborhood gatherings, and at all the different events that bring our community together. And I think that's wonderful. So thank you so much for supporting yet another year of this great organization. We hope to see them stay for a really long time. It's a very special, unique place that brings joy to so many people. And in addition to being just a place that shares the art and the culture of its beautiful heritage, we also are lucky that it's willing to give back to the community through its beautiful location here, where we have annual gatherings of holiday arts and business festivals, supporting the local economy and the creative economy, and also just being willing to be a meeting place for folks who are trying to bring people together in other ways. So thank you so much to our great community. Thank you to the Celtic Junction for all that you do. I'm really proud to represent you and look forward to continuing to work together. Thanks.